So if you were born in the 20th century, like some of these old farts that we know in the Rust community, you may remember a commercial that was so annoying that it would drill itself into your brain pan so that there's no way that you could get the melody out of your head. Here's a little section of that commercial right now, just to remind some of those old fogies out there that their memories might be fading just a little bit.
Presenting the Clapper. Lets your appliances turn on and off just by clapping. Clap on the music. It's easy. Just plug the Clapper into any household outlet. Then plug in your lamp, TV, or stereo.
Clap on, clap off.
For places hard to reach, the Clapper makes it easy.
Clap on, clap off. The Clapper.
Well, today I'm going to show you how we can take that technology, believe it or not, from 1984 and bring it into 2023 and introduce it to Rust. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Rust Admin Academy, where I'm teaching you everything that you need to know about owning and operating a successful Rust server. On this channel, I do plugin reviews and tutorials, plus I want to give you all of the tips and tools that are going to make your Rust server ownership so much easier. If you're brand new to my channel, consider subscribing so that you stay up to date on everything that we're working on and to get the latest updates on the Rust development world. I'll remind you a couple of times throughout the video to hit that like button if you're enjoying what you're watching, so please remember to do so. All right, let's get on to today's video. So bringing a technology from 1984 and trying to bring it into 2023 and then actually be able to use it in a video game might sound a little bit difficult. However, that's exactly what GestureToActivate does. And thankfully, it's not just clapping that we can use to activate. There's a plethora of different gestures already built into the game, as you all may know, that we can utilize to actually activate different things in our bases. So the plugin GestureToActivate is available from CodeFling. It's only $4.99 USD. So head on over and check it out. I'm going to put a link in the video description down below. Actually, what happened is the CodeFling team actually tweeted this out the other day just as a promotional thing or whatever, and I happened to stumble across it, and I immediately reached out to the developer to make sure that they were okay with me doing a video on it. This is not sponsored, they're not paying me, there's no promo code, there's nothing fancy going on with this video, but the two main reasons why I wanted to show you this plugin is A, I think it's really cool, and two, I wanted to see all of the different cool things that you all come up with. I'm going to show you the functionality of it and how I've actually set it up for testing purposes, but I want you to tell me in the comment section down below the different things that you can think of to actually make use of this plugin. However, I need to tell you all about it before you can come up with any of those ideas. So there are a couple of important details that I want to go over with you in the configuration file for GestureToActivate. However, I want to show you how the plugin actually works first before we get into the boring details. So the long and the short of it is we're taking a smart switch controller, which is default in the game. It's craftable, it's findable, etc., etc. And we're going to make it so that we can activate it using the built-in gestures already in the game. So obviously after you've crafted or acquired your smart switch, you mount it, you put power to it, and then you go up to the switch and hit it with a hammer. It's going to bring up a GUI that allows you to select which gesture is actually going to activate and deactivate whatever item is hooked up to it. Plus it's going to give you the ability to decide whether the person needs to be authorized or not authorized in order to actually utilize this gesture to activate. So as you can see on this smart switch right here, I've got it set up so that when you use the clap gesture, it turns this switch on or off. And I've also got it so that people that are not authorized on the TC can also utilize this switch. However, on this one over here, which is hooked up to this auto turret, you can see that this one requires authorization. So only people that are authorized on the TC will be able to gesture to turn on or turn off this auto turret. All right, so I'm nowhere near that smart switch right now, and all I need to do is bring up my gesture menu and select the clap. And that's going to turn that switch on, which in turn turns on all of my lights. However, with this auto turret, you'll remember that you have to be authorized in order to turn this auto turret on and off. So right now, as you can see, I have authorization on this base. So if I do the hands up gesture, that auto turret turns off. And we can do that same gesture again to turn it back on. However, if I go over and deauthorize myself from this TC, I will no longer be able to turn this auto turret on and off simply by gesturing. So there's my hands up, and as you can see, the auto turret stays on. It's ignoring everything that I'm doing simply because I don't have authorization on this TC. However, the other smart switch, which is hooked up to all of my lighting in this room, will still allow me to turn them on and off simply by clapping. And just as one more example for good measure, I've got this door set up to a door controller as well as another smart switch. So if I do the OK symbol just like that, you'll see this door opens up. Just a simple example. And of course, if I do the OK gesture again, obviously it's going to close that door. Another important thing to make a note of is the fact that there are two permissions that come with this plugin. The ability to use GestureToActivate is separated from the ability to set a gesture to activate. So depending on how you want to use this on your server, maybe you only have a certain group of players on your server that you want to be able to set these smart switches up so that they're activatable by gesture. You can just grant that permission to that singular group. And then if you want all of the players to have the ability to just gesture to turn things on and off, then you can just grant them the GestureToActivate.use, not .set. Totally depends on how you want to have it set up on your server. In the configuration file for GestureToActivate, there's a couple of important things I want to bring your attention to. You may have noticed that there was a slight delay from when I actually did the gesture compared to where it actually turned the switch on. You can increase and decrease that delay length. And another important aspect is the activation range. So how far away from the smart switch can the player be before those gestures stop working? So it's not tied to build radius or anything like that. It's literally the distance away from the actual smart switch. And then of course you can change which gestures are the default options when you go up to a smart switch and hit it with a hammer. It obviously comes set default with 10. I have not tried adding more gestures, but I imagine because of the size of the GUI, it probably won't allow it. However, you can go in and change which ones they are. All right, so that's GestureToActivate. Let me know what you guys think of the plugin in the comment section down below. If you want to check out even more custom built plugins from codefling.com, check out this playlist on the left-hand side of your screen. If you want to support the work that I'm doing at Rust Admin Academy, you can hit me up at the Patreon down below. And of course, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down on the left-hand side of your screen. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.